I think I figured it out. I think the red pill content is so popular because I think it's the content that makes the most sense when you're coming from a nice guy persona, aka a manipulator. And I understand there's tons of psychology behind women are different, men are different. I understand that there is actual woman manipulators out there that are out to destroy men, whether it's subconscious, consciously. I understand that that exists. But most people or most dudes that get put through the ringer, put through the mud are the nice guys, are the manipulators. For instance, the famous, I bought her everything, I got her everything, I bought her love basically, and it didn't work. But it was a manipulation, a tactic, let me buy you. And then once the reality kicks in, once the connection, the real actual connection came to life, it just didn't work, not compatible, couldn't even communicate because everything was a nice guy tactic. Everything was a let me buy you. And don't get me wrong, girls love being manipulated. I'm just kidding. I'm not in no manosphere, I'm not in the red pill community, but I understand that part. I understand why it's so popular. It makes a lot of sense. And you gotta take it for what it's worth. You gotta take some value from it. You cannot just dive yourself into it and be 100% become an Andrew Tate. The word of the day, the word of every day is discernment. You gotta have it. You gotta know what to stay away from. You gotta know not to get involved in things that you already know they're not gonna turn out good. A lot of times we know already. We know it's not gonna work. We know. Do it anyway. Just to cry about it later, right? Just to say like, fuck, I tried. The famous, we want what we can't have. We want to say, hey, it was difficult to get it, then I made it happen, I made it work. I'm special. You could say it may work for some. I doubt it. I think that's all Disney. I think that's what the movies tell you, but the reality, it just doesn't work that way. And I think one of the value that I take from the red pill community is the whole work on yourself part, because that in itself gives you mental peace and self-love. I think those are the two major components that you apply to your life, and it will work whether you're in a relationship or not. I think self-love is one thing that people get confused and don't understand how to get it, or don't understand what it even means. I remember hearing that a lot. You gotta have self-love, love yourself. And you can, it's not like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and just love myself. The best way I can explain that is put in the work, exercise, eat healthy, do all the hard work for you. Because I think this is where the confusion comes in, because for a while, I can't speak for everyone, but I do notice that we were raised and taught to be of service for everyone. And that's pretty much my approach, is to always, make sure everyone's okay before me. And I think that's the part where we disconnect and we kind of lose track of what makes us happy. And sometimes, being of service to people does, give you some sort of fulfillment, but you gotta draw the line. You gotta do things for you. And I sound like a freaking hippie, huh? I sound like I'm just repeating stuff people said before. I'm just trying to give you my, because you hear it all the time. I think we're living in a generation of the self-help people and the gurus and the motivational speakers and all that. But often I hear that and it doesn't mean anything to me because I don't know how to apply it. It just sounds good. Love yourself. It's granted, you could do all the work. You can be a marathon runner, you can be crazy athlete, you can be the most read. But if you don't apply anything to that in the real world, or you don't even understand what you're doing, then it's almost pointless. If you're doing it just because you are copying, pasting of what you see other people do, and not taking the time to sit with it and understand it, then it's just a shell of a person. And you become that. Honestly, I've noticed that in the self-help community, a lot of people are that, just copy pasting. And I guess that versus obviously doing the clubs and the drugs and all that, I would 100% say, yeah, copy paste the fit community. But there's gotta be some level of, okay, I need to understand this, or I'm doing this because this will help me understand how to love myself and be a better person. And I've learned that setting up a camera, little light setup, the bedroom, and just talking to the camera, to you guys, it's a form of therapy. It's a form of expressing myself. And there's times where I am ashamed of, speaking on, narcissistic abuse or things that happen, or because as men, we are also taught to not express ourselves, to just go to the grave with the pain. And I understand why. I understand 100% why. There's got to be some outlet. There's no way you cannot just isolate yourself or shut up and not say anything, even when you're going through some abuse. Because mental abuse, emotional abuse, I would say is far worse than physical abuse. Because no one sees it, no one knows. They think you're crazy. You're crazy your whole life. Physical abuse, obviously, I understand that it's bad. I'm not saying it's better, but you can prove it, and then there's tons of help for it that people will empathize with you. Especially if you're a dude, forget it. So you gotta learn how to talk to your friends, to your direct friends, to your community, to friends that can understand it. Sometimes you just need to do this and talk to a camera, and maybe someone on here needs to hear it. Maybe someone needs to know that what they're going through, it's valid. Anyway, so all that loving yourself makes you a good guy, not a nice guy. Quit faking it, take the mask off. No one is that nice. No one buys all the flowers, buys all the trips, buys all the little gifts just because they're simply nice with an ice cream truck. And I want to say most girls know this, and they'll still play along and take everything. Who doesn't like the gifts? But then they both end up manipulating themselves, and what's the point? Because then you hear the other side, right? All men lie, not all men, manipulators. And that's what it seems that girls like, or get attracted to the guys that they clearly know they're lying. Because I want to say most girls should know by now. It should be a class of nice guy. They're lying, they're manipulating. How do girls manipulate? There's like so many ways, I can't name one. And this is not a girl versus guy thing, but anyway, they should teach that versus health class. They should teach how you're gonna get manipulated, or who are the ones that are just out to take. Because yeah, even the nice guys, manipulators, they do want to take. They want the body, they want to buy the body. They'll give you the stuff to buy the body. Let's be honest. And that's why the nice guy gets upset when it doesn't work, because their whole life, their whole mental, everything that they were doing was to obtain something, that object. So when it falls apart, when it doesn't work, they go crazy, right? They're like, okay, what do I do next? What's the next move? What can I buy? What can I do? What can I pretend? How can I fake it again? It worked at one point. So that's why a lot of the cycle continues. So when you pay attention to a nice guy, once the whole mask falls off, they try to start from the beginning. They'll try to give you the gift that they gave you the first dates. They try to restart the cycle because they know it worked at one point. But I would like to say it becomes unattractive to have someone's life revolve around obtaining you, instead of like out to the world on how can they become a better person, how can they grow and take on these businesses. No, their whole mental space is how can they obtain you. And that's the reason why I say girls know that guys do this or manipulate, is the girls that also are half naked on social media, the ones that objectify themselves because they know guys want to obtain them. So that's the key. I think those relationships won't work when they are objectifying themselves, when one's trying to buy the other, when it's all transactional. And that's modern life. And that's why the red pill works. But don't get discouraged. There is people that are away from that, they understand this, that they're more educated, they're awake. I said this before, I have a sister that you clearly see at work, that you know their communication, you know their respect, you know there's no manipulation. I see that with a few friends. I have married friends that, same thing. And I also have friends that you can clearly see that they are in the promiscuous world, just sleeping with one after the next. To end this video, I understand the red pill works, but it's a corner of the world. The world is so much bigger, and where you put your attention to, if that's what you need to cope, that's what you use. Understand that you may get stuck there. That's probably, again, the easy step out, because if you learn the whole work on yourself, get stronger part, it works. But use that just a step. Try to become the healthy person yourself and identify who else is healthy. Discernment. I said that word, I'm gonna say it again, discernment. It's not easy. It's not easy because temptation is crazy. Sometimes you wanna make it work with someone that you clearly know it may not work. But discernment, you have to understand that you want the mental peace over some chaotic intercourse. Lust is crazy, lust. Anyway, it got way too far off. I just wanted to talk about not being a nice guy, and we're out here talking about, I guess that it all is part of the puzzle. All right, thanks for watching. Don't be a nice guy, be a good guy. Don't get naked on social media. Don't sell yourself online.